Takes.
Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Two Takes. I'm Chad Riedlinger.
And I'm Howard Vernick.
This week's episode is sponsored by Perel. No, just kidding. They're probably going to want to get money from this if we made any. This is like a labor of love.
They should pay us.
Exactly. So, hey, we got ours before the shortage, but so Howard's going to open us up today. What do you got, Howard?
Speaking of Perel, how is the coronavirus affecting our financial markets?
And full disclosure, we're shooting this Monday morning, and the market is ridiculously crazy right now. I think they actually just stopped trading because of there's a stop they put in place, which I've never even seen before, of the market's tumbling, no more trades allowed, which is crazy.
There's chaos in Bedlam, and Bedlam in chaos. So there's good news and bad news. The bad news is that the stock market is getting crushed. Please don't look at your 401ks right now, and absolutely don't take out any money.
Yeah, I have not even looked at it.
You don't lose until you take the money out. So right now it's terrible news. The good news is that everybody that was in the stock market are rushing to the treasury markets. So the 10-year bond is at an all-time low, under 1%. It even went under 0.5%.
Crazy.
And what does this mean? It means interest rates are going down. People are refinancing their houses like crazy. And I know that most of the mortgage professionals out there are working day and night. They're working weekends, and they just don't know how to get to the next file quick enough.
Yep. No, it's crazy right now what's happening. I mean, there's so many different lines of business that are being affected by this, and it's not just the loan officers, it's the processors, the underwriters, the closers, compliance, lenders in general, and then you really go outside of that and you talk about the appraisers and you talk about the survey companies and the title companies and insurance companies. They're all impacted by what's going on. And then if you go further, you got the travel industry. So this is it's crazy right now what's happening. And I think that for us, what we're starting to see is that even though the treasuries continue to fall, that the lenders are adjusting for that a little bit and saying, we got to do something to put a little bit of a stop to this craziness, because first of all, the lenders just can't handle the amount of business coming in. It's like nobody's staffed for this.
No, capacity is an absolute issue. If you I looked at Wells Fargo today, and their rates for purchases and their rates for refinances are completely different.
Yeah.
When we sell loans to an auction. We auction off these loans after we close them, and it's like nobody's bidding for them. We have to sell all of them to Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac.
Right.
I don't know what lenders are doing who are not Fannie and Freddie approved.
And I think we don't really know where this is even going. So the potential of that going lower and then refinancing again. So this is definitely an unprecedented time in our industry, and even folks that have been in this long as you have, we've never seen anything like this. Now that brings us to our second topic, which a lot of this is going to go hand in hand together, because there's nothing more relevant to talk about right now than the market that we're in. So rate renegotiations. I know that's going to be a hot button, not only for a lot of loan officers, but for a lot of lenders, a lot of customers. What's your kind of take on how these should be handled and how it's really impacting not only wholesale lenders, but direct lenders and banks alike?
Well, this is another issue that many loan officers, many branch managers have never seen before, because we've never seen rates drop this quickly.
Right.
So the cost of renegotiation that many loan officers and branch managers don't even realize is happening. So as lenders, when we lock a loan, we don't actually lock the loan. We buy a hedge position,
right,
which means we buy a security that goes opposite what interest rates do. So right now we are buying these securities, and while rates are dropping through the floor, these securities are losing tons of money.
It's great. Yeah.
There's going to be a time when it's kind of like when you buy stocks on margin and there's a margin call. Well, the margin call could be coming, right, and is coming, and some lenders just don't have the money to be able to pay it. I don't know what's going to happen with them.
Well, it's very important right now that Obviously, that you're with a lender who's very well capitalized, because it's crazy to think that in a market where there's so much business, that having too much business could be a company's downfall and what brings the company down. Because to your point, and the other thing that's important is, loan officers, they're like the only ones in this that don't really lose financially. Like they get paid the same compensation regardless, and meanwhile, potentially the company's taking huge hits, the branches are taking huge hits for concessions, and so the money's hemorrhaging everywhere, but loan officers, because of the comp rule, are still protected.
Well, where they lose and where borrowers lose is when there's not enough money there to cover the difference, and the borrowers just walk away because they're not going to pay an extra 3/8 or 0.5% in rate because they like you. Nobody would do that. That doesn't make sense.
Absolutely.
All right, so topic 3. Are we advisors or are we order takers? It's interesting. I was just at a gathering the last couple of days, and it was a bunch of my friends, us mid-50s to upper 50s, and we're with our kids, and they're all in their 20s and 30s. And, when I'm in the room, there was about 4 or 5 of them that I had done their mortgages.
Right.
This is over the last 3 or 4 years. So I'm talking to them, and it's like dawning on me, wow, you guys should all really refinance your loans. So, of course, they weren't really paying attention.
And they hadn't done it yet. And
they hadn't done it. They really were. They had good rates, so it wasn't like pressing on them.
Right.
So as I'm talking to them, I said, as we're talking, I said, it's better for you if you do a 15-year loan instead of a 30-year loan. You guys could be in your late 40s and have a mortgage paid in full.
Right.
And then I'll show you how much interest that you'll save over the period of time. All of them were very interested. In fact, over the next couple of days, I'm going to be scrambling to get somebody to figure out how much they're going to save.
Yep. Who's got the capacity right now?
Right. So, and it kind of gave me the thought of, when we're talking to people, we can't just be order takers. We have to figure out how to be advisors to them, because it's not only their short-term financial future, but the long-term future that we should be looking out for them.
Right. And I think, especially now, right? I mean, people are coming to us. It's very easy to be an order taker right now, because they're just coming, hey, I want to refi. I want to refi. I hear the rates are low, and yes, they're low. And I think the best thing that ever happened to me was doing a 15-year, because it really allowed me to put myself in the shoes of somebody who has that kinds of savings. And that was exactly the plan that you just laid out there was my plan of, hey, when my kids go to college, I want to have my house paid off by then.
Right.
So and that's that's been the best part about the 15-year. Not to mention, when you watch it every month when you get your statement, it's actually nice to open up your statement versus like, hey, I thought I just made a payment last month. Like, what happened? My balance is the same.
Right.
But it's very important that we act as advisors, but also use the tools and resources that are out there, like Mortgage Coach, like MBS Highway, because to show them is really what we need to do, and show them in a manner that they can understand and doesn't overwhelm them. Because if you just send them a couple of fees worksheets and expect that they're going to understand the difference over the next 15 or 20 or 30 years, they're not going to.
In my experience, when I talk to people, it's does a rate term refinance make sense to you? B, if they have student loans, do they want to include student loans into a rate term refinance because there's no difference in pricing? 3, do they want to cash out and take advantage of that? And 4, how about just doing nothing? And I find that I build the most trust with people when I tell them to do nothing, stick with what they have, because they're in great positions, and all of it drives them to become raving fans.
Absolutely. Part of being a good advisor is that trustworthy factor. Last but not least, 4th topic of today, abandoning purchase business. So look, I know loan originators right now are working around the clock. They're working on the weekends, just trying to keep up with the demand falling in their lap. It's very important that we do not abandon our purchase referral sources, whether that be realtors or businesses or CPAs, financial advisors. So my suggestion in all this would be to do something that is efficient, whether that's just staying in front of them with an email, a group text message, something that at least you could pop in front of them and say hello, because right now I think there's a lot of potential referral partners out there for the taking.
Well, I definitely think that you have to prioritize the purchase business over the refinance business. The refinancing is great, but if you close today, tomorrow, next week, or next month, it doesn't really make a difference. You're still going to be saving the money. The purchase business, there's contracts, times that we have to meet, and we have to take care of our real estate partners. When this is all over, and this will be over sooner than later, they're still going to be there, and they're going to know the loan originators who took care of them and those who abandoned them. And unless you really want to start over from square one in your business, take care of them, because they will take care of you. We have to do it together. Right,
and understand that they're not seeing, like, there are times, like this time as example, they don't get any benefit from the refi business. So although they're busy and their low rates are helping the purchase market, they're just not seeing what we're seeing. And so I just think it's, for those loan officers who can afford to take just a little bit of time, that extra time will pay off huge dividends in the long run.
And I think that you're incorrect. I think the refinance business hurts the real estate business because it makes people stay in their houses even longer because they have low rates and there's no reason to move.
They're already, was it out, 13 years last time we checked?
That's right. And this is this is crazy.
It's
these low rates.
So, guys, I know that most of our topic of conversation today was centered around coronavirus and financial markets and rate renegotiations, but guys, that's what's relevant right now. You all know that. We know that. We're going to continue to bring you guys all the industry news, real estate, mortgage. If you have any topics you want us to discuss on next week's show, put it in the comments below. We'd be glad to discuss that. I'm Chad Riedlinger.
And I'm Howard Vernick. And please, keep your hands sanitized. Don't get too close to people. And have a great day.
Bye-bye.